Before we begin, make sure to follow me on Gab, Rumble, and BitChute, links in the description. Ever since the DC Injustice series came out, there's been an endless assortment of multiverse what-if stories from the big studios. No hate for the concept, even I think it can be fun every now and then to see an alternate timeline saga. Every now and then. The current frequency with which these are produced is bothersome enough, but what's truly pernicious is that they always seem to follow the exact same theme. What if this good character became evil? And of course, it's always given some extreme circumstance to justify it. Oh, you won't kill the Joker? What if he breaks out and gets his hands on a nuke and blows up Metropolis? Oh, and by the way, he tricked Superman into killing his pregnant wife. So much for your no-killing rule. Can you honestly say you wouldn't have snapped? The charitable interpretation of the Injustice series is that compromising your principles is a slippery slope to abandoning all your morals. Good lesson, but it doesn't need to be shown ad infinitum. Let me put it this way. If you found out your friend watched one of those Russian dashcam car crash videos, would you think anything of it? Probably not. We all have a touch of morbid curiosity every now and then. But if his viewing history was filled with video after video of the most gruesome car crash compilations, you might suspect he's repeatedly rubbing it out to Ruski roadkill. I can't go a day without being inundated with shorts about some glorified wee-wee pad put out by the sadists occupying the DC and Marvel writing rooms. Spider-Man kills Kingpin, Batman kills Superman, Superman kills everyone, but it seems the one thing these writers kill best is their audience's enthusiasm. I don't know why they're even called superheroes anymore. Every issue is a coin toss to see if Agnes pressed her life alert before or after Batman showed up. And then it hit me. This is the superhero version of the trolley problem I disassembled in a previous video, which you should go and check out later. Create a conveyor belt of impossible problems from extraordinary circumstances that psychologically torture heroes into discarding their principles. And the reason it feels dirty to see is because it's essentially the writer morally buck-breaking them. Superheroes are supposed to be symbols of truth, justice, and integrity in situations where other men would falter. Taking away these symbols is the writer's way of saying it doesn't matter what's true or just if the consequences of holding to them are bad enough.
All it takes is one bad day. That's how far the world is from where I am. Just one bad day.
Anyone with a cursory knowledge of Christianity will tell you that the devil's most powerful weapon is not his flames, it's his forked tongue. The hypocrisies and doublespeak with which he clouds your judgment. It's immoral for you not to kill simply because you're clinging to a moral code. Hey, asshat, to call it immoral is appealing to a moral code. You can't debunk morality using morality. Even more insidious is that it's a moral code based on consequentialist future-telling. The Joker might kill your mom tomorrow. Yeah? The Joker might turn over a new leaf tomorrow. He can get hit by a car and die tomorrow. I can come up with an equally infinite amount of imaginary scenarios justifying why I shouldn't break my code. And think of the implications of this pessimistic worldview. If it's morally virtuous to compromise principles because you believe they hinder you, the most virtuous person must logically be the one who is amoral. Batman is more responsible for the deaths of Joker's victims because he could have killed them several times over. I wonder how many of these expert moral philosophers went out and killed a drug-dealing gang member today. If they didn't, they're responsible for the deaths of all the local drug addicts that overdosed, or all the people that the gang member shot. Don't call the cops on him. He'll just be back out on the streets soon enough, causing more death. Why don't you unstick yourself from that Mountain Dew sponge you call a computer chair and just do what needs to be done? And that's really the heart of it, isn't it? These mouth-breathing misanthropes don't care about what's moral. They just hate the fact that some people are striving to be good when they themselves are not. Rather than strive for good, which takes effort, they just don't want to feel evil. So they have to poison your perception of everything good as being evil. Then when everyone's evil...
No one will be.
Constantly bashing young people over the head with heroes who lack integrity trains them to look at anyone who preaches integrity with cynical skepticism. He says he's good, but I've watched The Boys. He probably has some deep dark secret. We just have to figure out what it is. Guilty until proven innocent. It's virtually identical to the propaganda that devout Christians must secretly be sex fiends for preaching abstinence. Is it any wonder why My Hero Academia is vastly outpacing any of the big studios' super flicks? Heroes like All Might and Deku embody the struggles of striving to live by ideals. They don't give them up the moment something doesn't go their way or someone dies. In fact, and here come spoilers, the progression of the manga shows that were it not for Deku's strict adherence to his principles, his final confrontation with Shigaraki would have been a loss several times over. Every instance of the story where Deku sticks to his guns, no matter how small the gesture, inspired rivals and even villains to become allies that broke him and his friends out of several pinches. The fact of the matter is, you don't control people and you don't control the future. You can't know the cascading effects each and every one of your choices will have, so it's pointless to fall back on consequentialism. The same logic that leads your pessimistic mind to horrific tragedies can lead to unexpected miracles. It is time for moral integrity to be treated as something sacred again. When we have integrity, we rid ourselves of the excuse not to find a better way. What if scenarios can be applied to any situation, real or fictional? But the reason they're so relentlessly applied to fiction like superhero tales is that fiction provides the most fertile ground for the subversion of your morality. Superheroes are magic. Superpowers are magic. So the writer's creation of magical moral quandaries is legitimized a priori. They want you to endlessly ponder fake problems while ignoring real-life moral issues. Ignore mom and dad screaming like lunatics at your sister in the other room. You gotta figure out what you do if you were Superman, and all the other Justice League members are dead, but Darkseid has kryptonite brass knuckles that become stronger the more babies cry. Do you kill all the babies in the world to debuff his kryptonite gloves? If you don't, the world will be destroyed.
哎呀，这事真难搞啊！
Your lowest moments will always be the most tempting times to compromise your morality, and these stories are meant to make you feel no remorse for doing so, no guilt. Everyone has a breaking point. You don't have a choice. No choice, no worries. Superheroes used to strengthen our spirits, but now their purpose has been inverted to hollow them out. If every superhero can be so easily broken again and again, who are you to resist your most evil temptations? Don't bother. Integrity is foolishness. Integrity is arrogance. Integrity is fragility. Strength of character makes you truly weak. Christ went to the cross for his integrity, risking his life and the lives of all his disciples. Last time I checked, Rome was subsequently conquered by his doctrine, and over 1 billion disciples are spread throughout the world today. So I cordially invite these comic book writers to do the world a favor. Draft us a what-if story of a universe where you confront those who destroyed your faith in humanity instead of endlessly ball-busting the people trying to preserve it. Thank you all for watching. I'm sure there's plenty of you out there that are way more immersed in the comic sphere than I am. Let me know your thoughts on this trend, and I'll see you in the comments section. Bye.